All right, BBN, welcome to another episode of the right side of Kentucky sports. Hopefully, everybody listened to the first half of Blitz the Bookie. If you didn't, make sure when you get done here, check it out. We talked about the college football playoff games coming up and week 18 of the NFL. It was another fun show, so make sure you check that out. It is New Year's week, and it's been fairly quiet in the Kentucky sports world. Kentucky basketball has been off for almost 2 weeks, 10 days, 11 days.
It'll be that by the time we play again. It's like a week tomorrow.
Yeah, seems like forever.
Yeah. But the Cats will get back on the floor on Saturday. First SEC game, and it's a banger at Alabama right off the bat. Before we get into the Alabama and what we think about that game, we did play Bellarmine. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday last week?
It was Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
Ended up winning by 14.
99-85.
So Bellarmine kept it close, and, not a super impressive win by any means, but we talked about this last week. Well, would they sit low? We thought that they should. I think all three of us agreed with that, right?
Yep.
But I didn't really think they would, and they did. He didn't play at all, and Quaintance only played 6-7 minutes, 6-7, and I did not mean to do that. But he only played a handful of minutes, and so they basically rested him to the offense again, got stagnant, and that probably had a lot to do with why we only won by 14. We got out of there healthy. We got out of there with a win. Quaintance gets some more rest, and Lowe gets some more rest. So did y'all take anything from the Bellarmine game other than not playing those guys and getting a little bit of rest? Cam Williams.
Cam Williams, 8 for 10 from 3.
8 threes, that's impressive.
He took 10 shots, all were threes. I do like the fact that, he's seeing the ball go through the hoop, give him a little more confidence. I think we got to get Chandler back. You text me during the game, and you're like, Chandler cannot guard anybody.
Not even against Bellarmine.
Wasn't he one of our better defenders last year?
I've seen him defend okay in the past year and the first few games of this season, but something's off with him on the defensive end, man.
I don't think his offense has been that good either.
I'll tell you this. I don't think it's good to only beat Bellarmine by 14 points. But we'll bounce back.
Well, we're a totally different team. That's the type of team we are without Lowe and Quaintance.
I agree.
Like, that's the team we are. Bellarmine's going to be able to keep it close. We'll win by 15. That's not impressive. But then when we play a good team, we could be in big-time trouble.
Yeah.
It's just what we are.
We need those two guys in the lineup. You can definitely see it.
There's no more I don't think there's any more bunnies on the schedule.
What game is that Alabama game? What day is it on?
Saturday at noon.
I was hoping maybe it was on Thursday. Maybe they overlook us for the football game.
Yeah.
It's Thursday at noon at Alabama.
No, Saturday.
Saturday. I'm sorry.
If Alabama was to win that game, I could see their fan base being on the hangover. The basketball team might not even come to the game. They might be celebrating down there.
Could be right. The Bellarmine win wasn't impressive, but I think it was more important to get Lowe. There was no reason to play him in that game. Just get the win. I don't think anybody's going to look back, if we get to a spot where we're, the selection committee's looking at our resume. I don't think they're going to look back and say, oh, man, they only beat Bellarmine by 14. It'll be some of these other games. But, I think that the second half of the St. John's game showed you maybe not the ceiling of what this team could be, but close, more towards the ceiling of what we can be. And this game against Bellarmine showed you kind of the floor, and maybe not the floor, but closer to the floor of what this team is without Lowe and Quaintance. Again, I know we talked about this last week, but this team is so reliant. And I'm not going to say on Quaintance so much yet because he's only played a game, but I do think he's a big part of it. But Lowe is just so important. So the basically 2 weeks off that he's going to get, can't do anything but help him and help us because we cannot lose him anymore.
Can he get? I know we don't know this answer, but can he get 100% without surgery? Or is this just something he has to deal with until he does the surgery?
I'm willing to bet that after this 2-week break that he had, that's going to be as healthy. I don't know if it's 100%, and it probably isn't 100%, 75, 80. I don't know what he's going to get to. But I'd say whatever it is, going into the Alabama game, that's the best we're going to get the rest of the season because it's going to be a grind, 2 games every week from there on out. So what we get, I think, at the beginning of that Alabama game, That's the best we're going to get, and I hope it stays that way.
Mhm.
You know, that's that. I shouldn't say that's the best. That's probably the healthiest
Right.
that
Yeah,
we'll
I get
get
what you
him.
mean.
It's a 2-week break. It can't hurt him any. That's the best health we're going to get, and we just got to hope that he can somehow not re-injure that shoulder.
You don't even want to hear my opinion on injuries. You just don't want to know. You don't want to hear them. I'm telling you, because you go down a bad rabbit hole with me.
Yeah,
I think it goes into like valuation, where they are evaluated at that time versus how many games we're winning versus do they want to play the rest of the season? Is it worth it to them?
that's a whole nother conversation.
It is. That's why I
The
said,
question is, do you think Lowe's doing that?
I don't know. Not right now, but could he down the road? I don't know. Like I don't, Charlie. I don't think there's no way to know. I think there's.
Why would he come to Kentucky and then act like he's got a hurt shoulder? And not
right
play?
now, but I'm just saying, like, say the season wasn't going the way he wanted. I think that's what happens to these teams, football or basketball. I think the season goes on. Maybe it's a disappointing year. Everybody's down the dumps, and I think it's really easy to do that at that point.
I think it does happen, but not in this situation.
No, it's December, and the dude's
I'm not
saying that, and I'm not saying
he
that.
had a hurt shoulder in the first week of the season.
I have zero faith in all these injuries. There's way too many injuries. I think there's a decent chance that football player did that to us last year. The boy went to the Bills, the Harrison, the cornerback. I think there's a decent chance he did it.
I guarantee you some guys are faking injuries and not playing. This is not a case where I even have an inkling of thought that that's happening with Lowe. I think he's got a banged up shoulder, and the 2 weeks is what he needed. There was no reason for him to play against Bellarmine. I'm glad that Pope didn't play him. And we just got to hope. We just got to cross our fingers and hope that he doesn't fall on his shoulder. Who knows how injured it is and what percent he's going to be after this 2 weeks, but I hope it's fairly high and hopefully he can stay that way. We get right into it with Alabama. I haven't been keeping up with the college basketball guys. What do they got? They got a couple losses, right?
Yeah,
they're like number 12.
They lost to Purdue.
And that was the early 100 and something to
lost
90 something or something.
Lost Arizona.
And Arizona's top 5, or are they
number
one? Who's number 1, right? Man, I'm not locked into basketball.
Arizona blew them out.
Yeah, Arizona's good. Arizona's really
so they got
good.
2 losses?
Yeah. They beat St. John's. We do have a common opponent.
Arizona and Alabama was tied at half.
They ended up losing by 20.
Are they last few – you got their schedule up?
Yeah.
Last few games, are they like last year? They scoring 90 and 100 every game?
Oh, yeah. They scored 100 on St. John's.
What number is Florida? I know Alabama's 12. Arkansas is like 16th.
They're actually playing right now.
Who, Alabama?
Yeah, they're up.
What are they ranked? They still in the top 10?
Yeah, they're 14. After Arizona, that was December 13th. They lost 96-75. They beat South Florida by 11, and then they beat just on Sunday they beat Kennesaw State by 11.
That's pretty comparable to Bellarmine. I was beating Bellarmine by 14, Kennesaw State by 11.
And then Alabama.
Seriously,
they're up by. There's 5 minutes to go in the game right now. We're filming on Monday, but it's 92-61.
Who they playing?
Yale, Yale, Y-A-L-E.
So we know how Nate Oats plays. They play a high-paced offense, shoot a lot of shots, and they got a lot of athletes. So it's going to be a tough game, especially at Alabama.
Have y'all had a chance to see Vandy yet? They're undefeated. They're number 11.
But I've heard they are good.
Yeah.
I've heard they're really good. Actually, I've heard some people say that they, don't overlook Vandy. This is a really good Vandy team.
They're undefeated, but I'm sure they haven't played a lot.
They haven't played much yet
because they'd be higher than 11.
Yeah. Their schedule's been pretty soft.
They've got 2 losses against you said Arizona and who?
Purdue.
And Purdue. Yeah. So,
probably 2 of the best, probably top 5 teams in the country.
So those
Arizona's number 1.
And yeah, they got beat pretty bad, but we got destroyed by Gonzaga. I feel like a lot of these teams, Gonzaga got destroyed. They got blown out by 40. We got beat by 35. You're saying they got blown out. Some of these teams are just getting blown out.
Right.
We'll find out more about the college basketball landscape, as we get into conference play. It's hard to break down who these teams are in the non-conference.
I was kind of locked in there for a few weeks, starting, with the UK U of L game. I was watching a lot of college basketball. But then, everybody kind of stopped playing 10, 12 days ago, at least the good games. It seemed like there wasn't very many Christmas tournaments or anything like that. You had, your Thanksgiving stuff, but, it seems like you kind of forget about it when you don't watch a couple teams for 13, 14 days.
This should be like the Kentucky Louisville show right here.
Yes.
This is usually when we play, right? Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we usually play today or yesterday.
And we played on New Year's Eve before.
The last couple of years has been on at 2:00 on the 27th, or it's been weird. Last year, wasn't it on a Tuesday? Yeah. It was a weird day at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. man, I'd love to play Louisville right now.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
Wouldn't you? Can we all agree that the Louisville game would go a little bit different?
I don't like playing Louisville, like with the new NIL, the way the teams are kind of quitting. I don't like playing them in football at the end of the year. With our schedule, SEC schedule, I don't like it because I just think it's more susceptible if we have a bad year for teams to kind of throw in the towel a little bit. I'd much rather move that game up.
Yeah, and the basketball game needs to be moved back to around this time, or like I've always said, move it to like the end of January or beginning of February.
I like that, Charlie.
I feel like we played Kansas there a couple times. Gonzaga last year, I think we played Gonzaga in like February 5th or something like that. Oh, let's play Kentucky and Louisville game then.
I just like to play when we're at look. That's
Plus, everybody's locked
the
into
heart of the season.
Yeah, everybody's locked into college basketball.
And it becomes a forgettable game when it's played that early.
Well, and like you don't know if you're at your best yet. Let everybody get at their best, whether it's good or bad. Let them get where they're going to be, and then play it. It's a big game. Why not
Make them play Duke, North Carolina on November the 8th.
You're right.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that shit.
Yeah. I do not like playing the football game last game of the season.
I don't know if I even like it at the beginning. I'm starting to think no championship games. No, I'm almost getting to the point where it's like, get rid of this Louisville game. I don't want to because I still want the Louisville game. But, man, I mean,
in football,
we're going to 9 games in football.
Yeah, you got to get rid of it.
We're going to 9 games next year.
I think you're already starting to hear rumblings of different games getting canceled. I can sit here and argue all day, but like Texas, where they're not valuing top wins, there's no point of playing them. Mm-hmm. There's no point. You are killing yourself. You're an idiot for doing it.
If you're a middle of the road team like maybe a Kentucky, it's probably not that bad. But if you're like an Ohio State, Texas proved it. Wow. Texas should not. If they wouldn't have that extra loss, they'd probably be in the playoff.
Yeah, I'll tell you
but because they got 3 losses and one of them was the Ohio State, they don't care who it was to. They just got 3 losses. Why would Texas ever play that game?
I'll give you another example of that. Michigan. Now they lost to Ohio State, but if they hadn't played Oklahoma and out of conference going into that Ohio State game, they would have been in the playoff. And they weren't good enough. Still, you take a spot even if you ain't good enough.
No, but Michigan thinks they're good enough.
Yeah, that's right.
Michigan thinks they're good enough.
So I think if if you're going to do what they're going to have to do for teams like Kentucky to keep the Louisville game, teams like Clemson to keep the South Carolina game, that whole rivalry week, is why we play at the end of the year. I think you're going to have to mandate to where like you can only play like 2 bunnies. You play your 9 conference games, and then your 10th opponent has to be another team from the Power 5 or whatever.
Shit, all 3 of them need to be bunnies.
I agree that. Well, as a Kentucky fan, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they all 3 need to be bunnies. They do with that schedule because there's teams in other conferences that are making their games bunnies.
James Madison and Tulane should be forced to schedule 3 Power 4 schools. Those teams already got weak schedules. All them teams in those conferences, their 3 non-conference games should all have to be against Big 10, Big 12, ACC, or SEC schools. And those teams got to go undefeated and beat all 3 of them teams and go undefeated to get in the – dude, for real.
Yeah, I don't think
for real.
Fair.
James Madison played 1 good team in Louisville, and they lost, and they got in. They should have played Louisville and South Carolina, and I don't even care, Minnesota. I don't even care who they are, but you got to beat 3 of those teams and run the table in your conference. The big conference schools should get 3 bunnies, and the bunny conferences, they should be forced to schedule 3. They don't have to be Ohio State, but it's got to be 3 decent schools.
I'll tell you this. Me and Josh talked about this a little bit before we came on tonight, and I said to him, he agreed. I don't know if he still does. Everything that's going on, it's just not sustainable. I'm telling you, everything is a collection. The NIL, dude, it's slowly hurting the sport. I thought it would happen, but they're starting to say ratings are going down in college football. First time I'd ever heard that. It's slowly starting to get to it, man. There's donor fatigue going on. Everybody, I think, are starting to have a lot of questions like me about injuries and stuff like that. There's just a lot going on. These players are already going to other schools. Everybody jumping in the portal every year. It's all cool and fun and games at the beginning, but there's only going to be a couple schools that really dominate. All the other schools make up the majority. And the reason the money's there, this is my argument I've always made. The reason the money is there is because the sport is so popular. The sport is so popular because they've grown that sport over a lot of years, building up popularity of it. But they're slowly going to kill it.
You said it perfectly earlier, and you said it again now, the donor fatigue. How would you feel if you're a big donor to UK, U of L?
There's a bunch of them out there.
And you come up to whoever it may be at the Yum Center or Rupp Arena, and they're like, Jaden Quayton said he'll come back. And we gave him $700,000 last year. but he's going to need 1.2 this year.
Yeah.
If not, he's going to go to Indiana.
It's pro sports.
Right. And I mean, I understand it's a free market and
with
capitalism
no
and all
with
that
no
stuff.
contracts.
And there's no rules. There's no regulation.
Yep.
I don't know who regulates this.
Nobody.
I mean, do you let them unionize? What do you do?
You got to do something because, like, at least the NFL has a salary cap, has controls, has contracts. This is unsustainable, and they are slowly killing the sport. I will stay with the sport as long as it goes down. I'll go down with the ship
Right,
because I love college football. Yeah. I'm somebody that loves it. What about that guy that just kind of likes it?
It's a turnoff.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
A lot of the old school people that are maybe not our age, but a little bit older than us, I think they're already turned off by this shit. But it's just like anything else. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. You're going to have to adapt. It's like
But you can draw a line, right?
I mean, you can.
And stick together and be like, hey, you can boycott stuff. People boycott things.
Good luck. Good luck.
I'm with
Good
you.
luck getting
You're right.
people to buy
You're
in.
right.
We've talked about it with politics and a lot of other things, like getting people to band together and do something for the common good these days. They're more worried about scrolling on TikTok or doing whatever it is they're doing in their life than actually trying to band together.
Remember this, though. Remember this. And I believe this in any pro sport, any college sport. When the money dries up, when it starts to drop, not that it dries up, it ain't going to drop all the way. That's when everybody will take notice. The reason everybody's scared to mess with it right now because everybody's making money on it. But, say we hit a little bit of a recession, money starts to tighten up. Instead of getting paid, a certain player getting paid $3 million, now he's making $1 million. And they start to see a decline. They see that it's kind of slowly killing the sport. They're not going to do it until some of the money dries up. But once the money starts drying up, I think the same can be said in pro sports. I'm not getting into names of any pro athlete, but there was a pro athlete back in the day. He was very opinionated. But when it came to like saying something about another country overseas, he wouldn't, because that's where a lot of his money came from, And so you follow the money, and that they like to talk a big game, but when it comes to their money, like everybody else, they get funny about it.
But college athletics is the only sport right now. And I don't know if I've mentioned it on this show before or not, but it's the only sport where the fan base is expected to pay for the players.
No.
Through your collectives and all that type of stuff, and your donors.
Well, doing $22 million, it should all come from the profits. If we're going to treat it as a business, like UK, had $130 million in profits, athletic department last year, and only could put $22 million in the revenue sharing part of it. Hell with that, let them pay it all. I mean, if we're going to treat it as a pure business, like we're saying it is. I don't know why they're saying they're going to school tomorrow, and that's what Izzo and Cal's talking about right now. Izzo and Cal's been big proponents of it.
Atlanta is laying the lumber, son, on the Rams right now. That wasn't a good angle. Dude,
angle.
He smoked his ass, dude.
You
should have seen that full speed, dude. He smoked him.
It's sad what it's become, dude. And it's not sustainable. It's just not, I know it's not sustainable. It's not.
It's going to be when the first time when you see it at a school to where they go to the donor, we need more money if you like Arch Manning. Or
they say you're starting to see it a little bit.
And I'm like, dude, I'm done. I've given this dude this much money for this many years.
That's probably already happening.
And if he has no commitment to the university, and it's all about money,
I
have no commitment.
I don't even think it's the players. It's they got agents.
Yeah,
but
he's right. They're not even talking to players. It's agents.
Yeah, and it makes it easy. That makes it easy for the players because they say just talk to my agent. That's what these pro players do. They don't talk to the people
There's no
about
negotiation.
Hey, you make your 10%. Mr. Agent, you take care of this right here.
But
he's trying to get the most money he can.
Yeah,
he's not giving no hope.
So why? That's why you need regulations, because I would too. I understand their argument and their position on it, but it's got to be fixed to where. Look, years ago they used to they did things like, I'm gonna give you an example of this. For years they wouldn't let sports betting in any other state but Vegas. There was a reason behind that, guys. They weren't dummies back then. No, they were scared the game's being compromised. This beginning of the NFL, the beginning of college, the NFL, they brought all the former players in, talked to them about gambling. They're doing that for a reason, guys. They're doing that because they know there's a problem. That was a whole big deal they did this season. The NFL brought former players in to talk to. They're doing that because they know what's going on. But they do that, and then they don't want betting in nowhere but Vegas, but now they do because money's so big. For years, they didn't want no college program near Vegas. UNLV, they didn't want them nowhere near Vegas. All these things are happening. Now everything's acceptable because everybody's sold out for the money, and that's fine. That's fine and dandy, but it's not sustainable because, I'm seeing it in front of my eyes right now. They're cheating. I mean, I'm not saying they're cheating every game, but all these things were in place years ago because we were scared of it, but now we're not scared of it. They were just dummies. No, they were smart people, but they were people. They were responsible. They put checks and balances in place You don't. Okay, if you give a kid a car and some alcohol, yeah, he's going to go wreck it. You don't give him the car and alcohol. You don't let him hang himself. You put rules and regulations in place so they can't do that. That is the job of the adults in the room. But we've sold out. We've sold out for money. The sport got too big and they got too much money involved.
All right, well, we got ranting on college football and money and shit. So, speaking of college football, let's, we want Will Stein back here working for us right now. But I'd argue to say that the better that Oregon does and the
Better for the
longer
brand.
that they play,
Yep.
the better for Kentucky.
Mhm.
They will show them on the TV once or twice every game they play. So if they can play 3 more games, that's 3 to 6 more times he's going to get put on the
Absolutely.
screen. And every time they put him on the screen,
Absolutely.
they're going to say
The
next coach of the Kentucky Wildcats. And that does matter.
It does.
And it sticks out to people
a lot.
And it will help us in recruiting. So as much as I want him here now and trying to build our team for next year, take another 3 weeks, big dog. Take you another. I picked again. I didn't pick against him. I picked Oregon. I wouldn't mind seeing the upset. But in the case of what I think's best, actually, for the University of Kentucky, play for another month, big dog.
Absolutely, I agree. Yep. I think the similar situation was Cal when he used to go to the NBA draft. So many of our fans didn't understand it. He was building the brand. That was good for the brand to get the next group. But our fans, they can't think past their own little world. They don't understand. When you're out there building your name, you're building Kentucky's name too. And that's what Will Stein will be doing. You let Will Stein win a national championship, that will be freaking awesome for us.
Hell yeah, it will.
It will be awesome. Every big college offensive player in the country will want to play for him. And guess what? That's where we will get the discounts, because there are teams that get the players cheaper than the other teams because they have proven that they can develop players. That's what Cal gets, with NBA players. That's probably what Ohio State gets. That's probably what Georgia gets. They get a little bit of discount because of who they are and what they can produce.
All right, Kentucky. Oh my goodness. No, he didn't. Oh my God. It was going to be like another 70-yard run right there. And it was not an easy one either. He is going off.
They're going to keep feeding.
All right, Kentucky and Alabama. Again, I don't know a ton about Alabama, but this is on the road. It's a tough one. I'm not picking against Kentucky, not on this show. I might think they're going to lose this game, but you ain't going to hear me say it. Give me Kentucky. Quaintance is back, and he's rolling better than he was in the St. John's game. Lowe's back, healthy, 100%, not 90, not 80. He's going to be 100%, and he's going to stay that way the rest of the year. Give me the Cats, 89-87. Close game, and we will have to try to keep up. I don't know if we can score that much. I've been terribly off on my scores. If I say it's going to be in the 60s, they'll score in the 80s. If I say it's going to be 87, it'll be 72-69.
Alabama's a really young team, but I've told you, I think the young players are starting to come back in style a little bit. College basketball, out of their top 6 guys, I think they got 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores. It looks like they like to score a lot of points. I'm like you, Charlie. I'm not going to I watched them a million times. I did kind of watch a little bit of that Arizona-Alabama game. Arizona was really good, but Alabama looked pretty good in the first half. But at the same time, I do think it's going to be a tough game for Kentucky because I think Alabama can score. They're young. They're explosive. But I'll still pick my Cats, 82-76.
They got that point guard, Phylon, who's been there.
Dude,
he's nice.
He might be the best point guard in the country.
He's sophomore. He's sophomore.
he's
He got about
good,
11
dude.
points a game last year. I think he's up to about 17, 18 points a game.
21.9.
He's okay.
I don't know the landscape of the whole country, but I have heard people saying he's the best player in the SEC. So
he's nice. We got to slow him down. But I think in order for us to win this game, we got to keep it low scoring. I don't think if it's in the 80s, we can win.
You're probably right.
I think it's got to be Kentucky 77, Alabama 72.
I like it. I told you my score. I'm just going to try to do that.
That's why we're a 3-man team.
Yeah.
We started you. He went a little lower. Now back to
we're
me.
a defensive
Get us all
team.
Full circle, baby.
Yeah,
77-72.
Just win the damn game, baby.
I don't care.
Win it 2-0.
But I think we got to play defense.
You're right. And we've turned into a bit of a defensive team
have.
the last against Bellarmine looked like shit. But again, we did not have our whole team. So the couple games before that, and especially the St. John's game with Lowe and Quaintance, we looked really good defensively. So we're not going to win 89-87, but I'm going to stick with it anyways.
Maybe we go to OT.
There you go. Good double OT, maybe.
If you ain't had a chance to watch that freshman from Arizona, his name's Flemings. He's really good. He's really, really good.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Arizona. Are they still ranked number 1 right now?
Yeah.
Are they?
They're good.
They're legit.
Yeah, they got that. It's Pete. They have last name Pete.
Pete,
Yeah.
There's a guy, the Fleming's kid. He's a freshman. He's tough.
Yeah, there's
He's tough.
the Pete kid's a freshman too.
Freshmen are starting to come back in style.
They
a
are,
little bit.
dude. This is a really good class.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully by the time we come back next week, we will have a win in our first SEC game and a road win and a top 15 win.
1-0 in 2026.
There you go. Undefeated in 2026.
Mhm.
Yeah, we need all that for real. We do. We need to keep this shit rolling. Let's get it done. Let's go down to Alabama. Maybe what Anthony said, maybe they
if they win that game, they will be on hangover.
Maybe they win and they're on hangover. Maybe they lose and they're on suicide watch.
Their game be on Thursday. If they won, they'll be going Friday. Saturday, they won't even be. I'm telling you, they won't even be thinking about it.
Roll damn Tide.
That's guys. That's
the football game, not the basketball game.
That's a very big game for the football game. Just the South versus the North. There's a lot of factors. Big Ten versus the SEC. There's a lot of factors playing out right there.
So next time we'll talk to you guys, it'll be 2026. Hopefully the Cats got a win, and we'll be down to the Final Four in the college. Last week you did that, and the damn mic cut off when you did it.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah, it was weird.
Hopefully it didn't do that again. Give us one more. 2 chances at it.
Yeah.
Guys, we'll catch y'all in 2026. Blitz the bookie.
See y'all.
See y'all.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Hustle deals on the line. Charlie Scassy's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mics on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Final play, they grind. Mics on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. Bond you'll find. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they